Oh, we're going right into it. Here we go. I was still updating the bracket.
Up from Teros.
Oh yes, definitely. Ada definitely is not a. It's not
Three,
Teros.
two, one.
We got them
This
going on the
is
Thunderguard.
Thunderguard.
Ada versus Queen Nai, losers quarters. And Stevenator finds the bomb. Wilson, however, finds the guitars, but Stevenator has no fear. Immediately goes for the unarmed.
Punching Wilson over and over again.
Wilson wants nothing to do with that, however, and responds with a guitar string of his own. Tries to go for a side stick, and it doesn't connect. Stevenator holding onto the guns, doing what he can with them, hovering over this mine, and Queen Nai, well, doesn't want the guitars, tosses aside and finds the spear. Not willing to approach, goes for that D-light, doesn't connect, and Stevenator finds a side air into side light. Or side light into side air. Kappa.
Wilson keeps fishing for those down sigs.
Yeah.
Afraid to go into Stevenator's range with those guns.
Yeah, and it's not working out for him. He's not finding any damage, and Stevenator is racking up the damage on Wilson, which he's perfectly fine with. With Queen Nai, you're not going to kill a Queen Nai fairly early most of the time, so getting up as much poke damage as you can with your side lights and side airs, well, that's perfectly okay. Ooh, an excellent spot dodge from Stevenator. Hits him with that down air, or down light.
Combos the down light into side air.
Yeah, racking up the damage pretty quickly. It's only going to take a few side airs to be able to end Queen Nai's stock.
Wow. One side air, I guess.
I underestimated the amount of damage.
Stevenator546.
I really underestimated the amount of damage that was coming out of Queen Nai's, or Stevenator's guns there. Misses a Gravy Cancel Neutralite, however, and Wilson's able to find that D-Light side air follow-up, sending Stevenator into the orange. But Stevenator wants something to do with it.
Stevenator punishing the neutral sig coming out from Wilson.
Yeah, taking
Already
advantage.
bringing Wilson to orange.
I feel like he's using something that we saw in the previous match between Wilson and Pickled, which was Pickled really started to take advantage of the match when he started using those down lights, punishing Wilson's positioning and using that to get crazy follow-ups with the guns.
Wilson goes for the side sig again with no luck. Losing control of the match. He needs to take the stock off and soon.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's going to come from a side signature. I think he's going to need to be able to mix it up. Maybe go for a slide charge down sig or something else, because Stevenator's just too mindful of those side sigs to be able to get punished by them anymore. Ooh, goes for that sliding down sig.
Interrupted.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work out. Both players find themselves in the red. Stevenator perfectly fine at not approaching, just playing out of Wilson's range and taking advantage of the fact that Wilson is indeed a very passive player.
Stevenator has absolutely no problem just racking up the damage and pushing him off the map with a side air.
Oh, that side air
And
actually
then he
killing.
knows.
That side air actually killing. It looked like Wilson had the ability to jump back on the stage, but he didn't. And Stevenator takes a solid lead. This isn't a very intense match in the sense that it's a lot of fighting going on. It's just Stevenator punishing Wilson for not changing up his playstyle. Wilson goes for the recovery, but doesn't connect. Stevenator ready to react to it, holds onto the spear and hits that side light to be able to punish Wilson's side sig and racks up the damage really quickly with the spear, sending Wilson to the deep yellow.
Stevenator following up with another Sarah. Still holding on to his stock, and there it goes with the unarmed recovery coming out from straight to the point Wilson.
Yeah, managing to take the stock to avoid getting 3-stocked like before against Pickled, but Stevenator, as long as he's got those guns, I feel like he still has complete control over this match. Goes forward.
Gets that weapon throw, tries to catch the downlight.
Yeah. Wilson finding himself...
Not concerned in the slightest. Finds a nair. Doesn't manage to chain it up into a recovery, but he's getting loads of damage.
Yeah, finding that D-light into side air, falling him across the stage with another side air. Wilson's in the red. Stevenator is just going to continue pelleting with these guns. He doesn't even care to use a signature. Ada's usually known for very signature-heavy gameplay, but Stevenator is literally just using a side air. And Wilson gets... Yeah, gets shot off the side of the map with a bunch of side airs. Doesn't get his jumps back.
I don't think there's a better way for him to play this matchup, though.
Well, no.
If Wilson's not going to change anything, then why do anything different than rack up some gun damage and just push him off with light attacks? If you don't have to use a signature, there's no point in doing it. I know it's green, and I know it makes a really cool sound effect, but sometimes the basics are the best thing.
Yeah, and, well, Stevenator proving that. Like, I feel like if he did go for any signatures during this match, he would have given Wilson opportunities to punish him and lose his stocks. And because he didn't do that, because he only used those light attacks to be able to punish him, Wilson wasn't going for enough aggressive weapon toss combos. Stevenator was just able to take that match nice and easy.
And Stevenator546 sticking to that Ada. We're on Mammoth Fortress.
Game 2. Both players sticking to the legends. Wilson tosses a mine.
And Stevenator dodges over the mine.
Yep. Holding onto the guns, Wilson finds himself into a terrible position once again, unarmed and against the guns that he has so much difficulty fighting against.
This time he gets his weapon a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Wilson the guitars goes for the side stick. Stevenator tries to box it out with the side air. Side light doesn't quite connect. Both players not really doing enough damage to each other yet. Wilson goes in for the down air. Goes for that side stick, gets punished by the guns once again. Goes for the neutral light, but that down air, and then, oh gosh.
Down air in the side air in the side air.
Sending Wilson into the red. It makes it look like Queen Nine. I mean, can we even...
The way Stevenator is getting damage out, and with the attack stat and dexterity from Ada, I mean, it is making Nye seem a little bit squishy right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised to even consider Queen Nine a high defense legend at this point, considering how quickly he gets damaged. But
why is he N-Sig, though?
And now we're seeing what the risk of running Ada is. Yes, you have that insane attack stat, but Wilson just got some solid punishes, and this match is already even.
Finds the unarmed recovery. He looks for the ground pound to close. Charges that signature a little too long. Gets punished by the dive kick. Stevenator with the mine in hand. And by Stevenator, I mean Wilson.
Yeah, I feel like Wilson should have gone for a side air punish on that charge down thing. Like that dive kick, yeah, it was going to hit, but he probably could have gotten a kill if he went for a little bit more of an aggressive move. Stevenator finds himself unarmed. Wilson with the guitars, but...
The dive, the slide kick into recovery to close the stock.
Killing Queen Nai off the top of all legends. Wilson, however, has Ada in the red, holds onto the spear. Will he be able to find a side air to end the stock? Stevenator's been very mindful of his spacing.
Stevenator goes for that... I keep calling Wilson Stevenator. It's the yes, man.
Well, I don't understand. Is it because, like, straight to the point?
I see the S over
Wilson. They're both using white legends?
Yeah.
Anyways, Stevenator.
Tilted is so bad.
Wilson holds the guitar. Stevenator has the spear. Probably wants to toss to the side. By a lot of success. See, there's that signature, right? Stevenator finally goes for a signature, and Wilson's immediately able to punish. I don't feel like Stevenator wants to do that during this match.
Something to keep in mind is that the NSYNC doesn't really catch grounded players anymore this patch. So you have to be a little bit more selective about when you use it.
Yes. Stevenator holding onto the guns, hitting with side air after side air, sending Wilson to the orange, but a recovery does just as much damage back to Stevenator's Ada. Also goes for those down signatures, and a D-light and a side air, sending Stevenator into the deep orange, nearly into the red. A side light, this might be Stevenator's stock.
He whips both recoveries, Stevenator finding his recovery.
Ooh. But Wilson still has a decent amount of damage to go before he ends the stock. Goes for that side stick. Stevenator barely doesn't get hit by it. And Wilson's kind of got control of this match. Tosses the weapon in. Goes for that side stick. Stevenator punishes it with the side light, but Wilson tosses the weapon into his face. It's not going to take much to be able to end Stevenator's stock, but there's the down air into side air into side air.
Side air.
Carries Wilson.
Side airs on top of side airs over here at Gravy Cancel Sunday. It's a hot production.
Following Wilson off the stage and taking advantage of the way that he was being knocked back to be able to end that stock. Things were looking grim for Stevenator, but now he takes the lead once again.
Wilson looking to just clip Stevenator with that recovery and even the stock up without taking any damage, but he can't seem to connect with the recovery or any of those flashy purple signatures.
Yeah, definitely can't do that. He's probably going to need to find a side air before he takes too much more damage from Steve. Yes, we know you have a lot of defense, but it's Ada. You can't be taking these gunshots. There's the side light. Will he be able to find the follow-up? Probably go for the recovery. Doesn't connect.
Recovery, Stevenator reading, dodging the other way.
Yeah, it's not difficult to dodge out of recovery when you're expecting it that much. Maybe Stevenator could, Wilson could opt for some neutral lights, or neutral airs while in the air to be able to bait out that air dodge early on.
Finds the unarmed combo and sends Steve into another map, but doesn't kill him.
Wilson hitting him with that down signature doesn't have enough knockback to be able to kill him, however. And he's starting to get hit by these stairs once again. Wilson, you gotta end the stock.
It's not gonna take much to kill Steve, but he can't land anything. But he does.
Yeah.
He finally finds that side sig and takes it 1-1.
Wilson being a little creative with that side sig as well. Instead of doing that normal, dash dance back and forth into side sig, he landed on the ground and immediately threw it out. So that's why it caught Stevenator off guard. Now has the guitars, was able to find that side light, and he's actually doing a decent job getting in damage. Misses the down air, but he's not getting punished by these guns. Wilson tosses the guitars aside, holds onto the guitars, and he just picks up once again. And Stevenator trying to get in with these guns.
There's a downlight in the side air combo.
And it does a decent amount of damage, sending Wilson into the orange. There's a neutral and a recovery.
Does fine in there. And there it is, boys. Game 2 to Stevenator546.